Thank you. I'm honored to be here, helping all of you to attack addiction. None of us ever dreamed that our lives would be so devastatingly impacted by this disease of addiction. But there's comfort in knowing that we're not alone. And together, we are stronger.
Audio Jungle.
My son Joey has been battling addiction since his teens. He's now 28. He's not in recovery, and he's a chronic relapser. He's been in and out of some of the best rehabs in the country and has never stayed long, and he refuses to ever return. He's been in jail, he's been homeless, he's overdosed and taunted death countless times. I've held his limp hand as he lay dying. And sadly, I've recently learned that he somehow lost an ear. Joey lives in Florida, where he's been stuck since being kicked out of his last rehab in 2008. I fly down from Texas once a year. Sometimes we talk on the phone, sometimes we exchange a few texts, but we no longer talk about his addiction, because we've learned there's no point. Joey and I have an unspoken agreement that our brief time together is for making new, pleasant memories to hang on to. It's not a relationship that any mother dreams of, but given the circumstances, it's better than it could be, and I'm grateful for that. There's a big hole in my life where Joey should be, but he is still alive. My heart hurts for those of you who every day face a hole that is even bigger and deeper. Those of you who've had your child stolen away by addiction. Addiction is such a devastating disease. We do the best we can, but addiction wants to win. And too often, it does. Imperfect mom. Imperfect parenting, however, does not cause children to become addicts. If that were so, every child in the world would grow up to be one. Maybe I drove Joey to drink, so to speak. Maybe he was hurting or mad or embarrassed of this brazen old girl who adored him for the sweet boy he was. Or maybe Joey was insecure and uncomfortable with the process of growing up. But whatever his reasons for first using drugs and alcohol, Joey had also been enticed towards the glamorized hole filler since birth. Addiction is a disease. Scientific research has proven this. The addicted brain exhibits measurable changes. This is fact. Addiction begins where dalliance or even doctor's orders becomes disease. It can happen to anyone who's ever taken that first drink or puff or even a prescription prescribed for pain. Addiction has nothing whatsoever to do with whether a person is nice or the quality of their character, or the strength of their will. Addiction happens when the renegade sip or snort or sniff crosses an invisible line between want and need. Today, Joey returns to the place where life began, on a stretcher. Cruising down the coastal highway in a four-door sedan at 50 miles an hour, Joey slammed into an SUV, a line of mailboxes, and a stone wall. No brake marks before bouncing into oncoming traffic. He arrived here in an ambulance, bloodied and unresponsive, with enough alcohol in his bloodstream to kill him, if his internal injuries don't kill him first. 20 years, 5 months, and 6 days ago, Joey tumbled into my world at this very hospital. We greeted each other, this baby and I, but we already knew each other. We were already in love. so cruel. With its insidious ways and nasty grin, addiction has not only snuffed out my child's emerging light, it has broken bonds and hearts and all the rules. Addiction is the destroyer of everything. I've heard it said that if you shake any family tree, an addict will fall out. And sadly, I've discovered this to be true. More families are dealing with the addiction of a loved one than I ever would have guessed. The tragedy unraveling those families is similar in its destruction, different only in the details, and too often kept secret. When addiction grabs a child, it chokes a parent. I know the life-draining squeeze of its grip. I've never felt so incapable and helpless, so sad and lonely, such fear. My child has been stolen from me, stolen from himself, and I mourn Joey's loss and suffering from a very solitary place. There is no broad community empathy or support for the families of addicts. There is no rallying cry of solidarity, no pretty ribbon brigade, and none of the comfort that so often gets baked into meatloaf and muffins. Instead, there are closed doors and mouths and minds and hearts. I want addiction to be understood, not misrepresented and misjudged and mishandled. Not hushed up or hidden away. Nasty things grow most freely in dark corners. The scourge of addiction needs to be dragged out into the light. Addiction has pummeled my family. Beating it back has been one long, hard fight. These mother's hands of mine, these nubby, bloodied claws, have seen battle. The battle between hanging on and letting go. The battle between barely hanging on and hanging in there. The battle to survive the unexpected, and the battle just to survive. Battered and bruised I may be, but I'm stronger and wiser. I finally understand there's nothing I can do to help my son other than to help support him in a quest to help himself. Once upon a time, I was just a regular mom, stumbling through parenthood like everyone else. And then I had to figure out how to be the mom of an addict. I had to figure out how to love my child without helping to hurt him, how to grieve the loss of my child who's still alive without dying, and how to trade shame and blame for strength. If Joey were dying a slow death from cancer, the world would reach out with comfort, but stigma gets in the way. When addiction is understood as a disease, it will be treated like a disease. But this is an understanding that will happen only when those of us who love an addict stop hiding addiction as though it's a disgrace. No more shame, no more silence.
Audio Jungle.
sob escapes me as I remember the little boy with the sticky giggle who one long ago day asked me to sing him his special song. "Mommy, will you sing me the Joey song?" The Joey song. Wriggling onto my lap like an angel's puppy, Joey looked up at me with his blue eyes. I silently willed the song to come to mind. Oh, the Joy song. My heart warmed. For countless renditions, Joey had heard my crooning as a love song about him. And so I held my little fellow tight and sang the wonderful song that had tender new meaning, the song that was so much more wonderful sung his way. I've got that Joey, 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 Joey down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got that Joey, 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 Joey down in my heart to stay.
To fly, to fly.